cloud. Welcome to the Rise of the Goddess Collective podcast. I am your host, Michelle Julian, and today I am so excited because I have a special guest, and this special guest is Radka. Radka is the creator of sparkyourbalance.com. Just that URL in itself tells it all, right? So we today are going to talk about some really amazing tips and tools that will help you fine-tune your life and work balance. Because isn't that what we all want? We want to have harmony. That's really, when I think of balance, I think of harmony. Because let's face it, even if we have work-life balance, how do we stay in tune with that on a day-by-day basis, especially now that we have a new normal, which is homeschooling our children. Maybe some of the kids are going back to school, but then there's all the stresses that go along with that, with all of the reasons why there are stresses, and we don't have to go into details of those stresses because they're already there. So what we want to share in this dialogue, because that's what it is, it's a real heart-to-heart dialogue about how you can witness your own truth of what feels right for you as we share our wisdom to help you with your harmony in your everyday life. So I just want to start though and talk about the amazing Radka, because she has done quite a few things in her lifespan. So she is a holistic health and life coach and aromatherapist. Yes, she's all of those things. And she is a mother as well. And if you're a mother and you have a business, you're already a super powerful queen goddess. So she believes that every person possesses an amazing inner power. And if you allow that connection into your body, mind and spirit, she believes that you can access your deepest self-love and a life that you can live in according with your true values, right? So it's about your values, your gifts, and your strengths. And what this does is it brings you beyond your stress and anxiety and limiting fears. So when you're doing this holistic health life coaching, you are on a journey with Radka to heal, to find the balance and walk in truth, authentically, confident, and having the vitality and inspiration to keep that spark, to keep going. So she has some great free tips and tools on her website, which she will probably go into detail in our little chat today. And she would love to talk about probably some very important things that people need to know about why we as women tend to lose our spark and feel tired and overwhelmed. So let's start having that conversation, Radka. What can we do to heal, and how can we heal that depending on what chapter we are in our lives?
Yeah, well, first of all, hello everyone, and thank you for a warm welcome, for a nice introduction. It was really felt in my heart, and I feel inspired. And the question is really, really very broad. And of course, what I'm really passionate to pass on other women is this feeling of spark, feeling of meaning, feeling in alignment with themselves. And what I am seeing generally in the world, that really many times we just tend to try to control the outside, to feel in balance and kind of successful in our career and life. But the truth is that we really need to control our own power instead. And that will actually help us stay in our spark and just feeling ourselves alongside of the journey. So what I have found out, that really we women, and especially when becoming a mom, that's a crucial part, that really our attention lies on others and or on the to-do list. And this is again like the external sourcing, and that is many times why we tend to lose our spark so quickly and get to feel overwhelmed, because we are just looking outside, taking care of the outside or other people, even though loved ones, but we are trying so hard that then we are forgetting about ourselves and listening just the outside world, trying to make it work, but forgetting to listen ourselves. And this is what I see also with my clients as a crucial thing, that they are losing themselves and that they are getting really tired and overwhelmed very quickly. Mm-hmm. And this is even a huge part of the last, what is it now, year and a half of these really crazy happenings around the world, mm-hmm. that we had even more of the burden on our shoulders, and it showed up really rapidly. And we suddenly realized that it's affecting really our health and our feelings of joy in life in general. And that's why it's so important to really start looking inwards for the answers and stacking, let's say, on our good experiences to understand that my life is joy, and don't just look outside for the evidence, and don't just look outside to prove it, to prove myself, but rather really look inside, so that you feel okay whatever you do and really own it in a way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about that feeling into your super powerful capacity to actually calm, as you would say, calm the chaos.
Yes.
Let's talk about how you yourself have come to this understanding, and a little bit kind of like the backstory of your own journey of actually stepping into this role of being a health and life coach, and how you came across this understanding of how you wanted to help other people tune into this ability to really uplift your spirit.
Yeah, that is a beautiful question. Well, I'm just wondering where to start. In general, also in my life, I went through the regular path, let's say, that's kind of given if we want to feel successful. So I went and I started a job, then I traveled across the globe and I lived in different countries. I started another job and I was promoted. I was climbing the ladder. It was all looking good. But then I found myself really in a very burned out role because I was trying so hard to make it all work, and let's say in general word, please others, that I really feel kind of worth it, that everything I have done is great and perfect, and I proved my worth at work and my life is now working, that I really forgot about myself. So I eventually burned out, and it was really a hard time with a lot of health issues. And I found myself really on the floor, kind of crying because my kid was about to wake up. She was really very small that time. And I felt so weak on my legs. And, my digestion did not work because literally I was not able to digest my life. So, these experiences are all connected. Just in some moment, you are not realizing that. And I was just praying that she does not wake up yet because I don't have the power to stand up. And that was the moment of awakening for me, where I have realized that really I have to step up for myself and just stop looking outside to control outside or make outside work. But I have to control my own power and myself and really start choosing. I mean, choosing with the capital CH. To really choose for yourself what you are willing, how you are willing to react, how you are willing to respond, and what attitude you choose, and how you choose to create the boundaries. And I call it this kind of shield, that you are not feeling hurt from the outside, and that I really stop kind of waiting for someone to save me out there, but that I really own my presence, that I choose to be here in my strength, in my power, and just feel it and stand up. So this is my understanding of stand up. For me, it was a really big moment. And as of then, I really started with the small steps of a lot of self-awareness and a lot of education, tons of books, tons of podcasts, tons of transformative courses, and everything that I have taken, and found my way out. So it's not necessarily that I don't just do this one thing and overnight you are perfect. It is a journey, but it is a journey that you love every minute of it, because you are realizing yourself, you own your presence, and you just feel that power. And even though it's a roller coaster, because no one is perfect and we are not striving for perfection, it does not exist, right? But there is the progress. And if you are self-aware and you understand, okay, so now I can pause and just understand what's happening and choose how you are going to respond and choose what you are willing to do. So choose your behavior on the conscious level. It's such a different approach to owning your power and how you are actually navigating your life. So there is a lot of things. And for me, if I can just go further, one of the first steps for me was aromatherapy. So that's why I fell in love with that, because in the darkest moments, if I can call them that, it was the remedy that kind of healed the physical symptom. But on the inside, it also did its job, that I realized some things, that it helped me to connect. So that's why I really love to use aromatherapy as a support on our journey to really step into our power with women. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. And you are working with a locally sourced aromatherapy product to integrate this into the Calm Your Chaos technology.
Yes, I have, within Europe, I have some kind of a source that I already have good relationships, and I know that their products are pure. And, I have studied it, so I really can check all the reports, and then I know what essential oil that I choose actually consists of. So I know the components, which is very important to understand what is actually in the bottle. So it's not just some kind of random that I don't know, but I really need to know. But then also I do have a trusted partners also in the US and Australia as well that I can recommend, and I'm just kind of recommending whenever it's needed, because of course the shipping is not that easy. But many times locally you are actually able to find a small some kind of distributor or something, which might be nice. But yes, you can check. I can always give advice if someone wants, and it's just lovely to play around with that. It's one of the parts, not only that it helps you this connection and stepping into your power, but playing around with that. It's like kind of a first step of really having your self-care as a priority. Somehow you are then able to prioritize it. You feel it. I love to use it on a daily basis also as natural cleaning in our house. So basically you feel okay, you are supported okay, and it's just natural, it's just nice, it's smelling nice, and it helps you throughout the day. Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good. So let's talk about how you are actually navigating being a woman with children and having your own business, and how you're innovating and pivoting during this pandemic. Because even though we're kind of coming 18 months into being in the pandemic, we're getting back to potentially seeing people with our mask, depending on, your guidelines that people are, recommending for you. How are you doing this pivoting and innovation online? And how are you actualizing your own balance and harmony while you're doing it?
Yeah. It is a question that the answer really depends on the day. I have to say. So it really depends how am I able to energize, and I'm just really in a need to take care of myself often. I'm wondering where to start. Well, for me, it's about navigating the energy most of the time. So I really need to understand what actually gives me energy and what is depleting me, and kind of, sandwiching methoding it. So, and then it's also what is supporting me to connect, to be inspired, and give also myself the compassion. And it's like when you are as a mother taking care of the kids, you are able to give them compassion for a lot of things. But if it concerns you yourself, suddenly you are just the best critic, right? And that's why this is very important to turn this compassion also towards you while you are trying to rise, because there is a lot. So sometimes I feel like this big head. So I really need to pause and slow down, because I am aware. It's just like, yes, I can get there, but I am able to step back and kind of pause to understand what's happening and how I am choosing to act differently, right? But for me, it's really about understanding how to navigate also my kids, because many times they're just at home. I have 6 and 3-year-old, and last year they've been literally at home all the time. This year the school has started, but I mean, they've been there a couple of days, but the rest I have them at home. So for me, it's really to work with them, like, okay, which periods of time I can actually play with you, and when I really need to work and really shut down myself in another room. And then it's also a lot about the learning and creating the relationships, even though a lot of people feel more vulnerable, and on the same side maybe more frustrated and lost, so they are seeking the support. And this is what I'm just trying to do, because I really deeply care. I just feel that it's so important, that this is my driver, this is my fuel. And sometimes, some days I don't do anything on purpose. And that's the beauty. Because also, when you need to calm the chaos, you need to be able to allow yourself to step back and really do nothing. Because many times we are even more productive and more inspired and feeling our best after we really rejuvenate. But this is something like I call it the new pandemic of just being busy, just to be busy, right? But what is the real behind that busyness? Is it fear of actually succeeding, or fear of failure, or just some kind of fear that I'm not enough, so I'll just keep myself busy, that it looks like everything is fine? So this is the new pandemic for me. That's why I'm really trying. For me, this pillar of getting calm is very important as the first one, to really be able to start listening to yourself and understanding what's there and own it, so you really can step into your confidence and then create. I love that word, creating your life, then life experiences.
It sounds very, very soulful. Your process and your modalities of integrating aromatherapy is just exactly what it is. It's a modality that helps you uplift your spirit. And so it makes total sense what you're saying about that being state, the being and becoming a good mother, a good father, a good business owner, a good wife. So pausing and asking yourself, what am I really doing right now? Am I being a good mother? Am I being good to myself? And so it's that pause that you're talking about, which is reflection, which then creates some openness and curiosity of, oh, am I actually contributing to my chaos? Or am I, learning to discern and how I actually don't have to contribute to my chaos? It's kind of a thought process that you're doing minute by minute. It's not like a one and done, and I totally get this modality and this mythology. And so now I am the, spark your balance, groupie that just, has it all together. It's really about fine tuning into minute by minute what's happening. And that is a different process for us, because as entrepreneurs, as mothers, we are in such a state of really doing and becoming. The being state of calm and clarity and contemplation is really a new paradigm. It really is, because we just didn't have the time to do that before the pandemic, because we had very, very full lives. But the pandemic gave us an opportunity to let go of some things and not have to be all of the things as a mother or as a wife or as just, a human being on this experience. And always, engaging with other people. So it gave us a sacred kind of container, like an automatic sacred container to say, what do I feel like today? Do I feel like getting out of bed? Do I feel like taking a shower? I don't have to, because I'm not going into the office anymore. I actually can skip taking a shower. I can actually walk around in my pajamas and not feel shame and just own that you got to wear pajamas and you didn't have to wash your hair because, you weren't going to the office, and maybe you could go on Zoom call, but you could flip off the camera and you could just have your picture there because you had permission to do that. Because I think after a while, people didn't really want to have to be looking in the camera for 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day. We are not designed to be looking into a camera with lights beating into our eyes. It's not healthy. And I think people started getting headaches and talking about that within their organizations. And, if people wanted people to be productive, besides, being on Zoom all the time, having meetings and all of that, they had to be discerning because they had to do their work. They'd rather have them spend time, behind the computer getting their job done instead of looking into the camera, So I think that what you're saying is that we have this capacity to tune in to our calm even during any type of chaos.
Yeah.
So
that's very important. I would like to add that, of course, there is important to really create, for me, this getting calm is really creating this space to start understanding what or who you really are or want to be. And I find the hardest question of the recent times is like, what do you want? So let's just challenge our listeners, like, so what do you really deeply want? And journal on that. And I mean, not something that you should want because it should be an obvious step, not something that everyone expects you to want, but what do you really want? Because there is like step by step. So for me, creating this calm from the chaos is really creating the space to start understanding who you are and what are real values and the desires that you are willing to go towards. And that's how you are able to then navigate and creating the balanced success, the balance in your life that feels aligned. And of course, these challenges within the days, you can still navigate with all the tools and techniques that you actually gain when you are calm.
Exactly.
But first step is really to getting calm. Otherwise, we are never really able to get the answer from our body or heart. And then we tend to, I really have like this metaphor when we are working in the corporate, like, and you are climbing the ladder, and it was me as well. You are climbing the ladder, it feels successful, but does it feel successful when you are alone? Is it really you? Is it really the right ladder? So this is for me calming the chaos, so you really know where you are headed and you are aligned with that and you feel good about that.
I love it. So it's a lot of contemplating and inquiry of oneself, and how to do that is by actually asking the question and then giving yourself the answer by journaling it, writing it down, and just being with it. Like how you can just be with those thoughts and really just be with them. That's the calm. The calm is in the chaos, right?
Yeah.
So it's part of life, because life is not simple. Life is not always perfectly working out the way we think things need to be working out. Part of our struggles in life and challenges are to wake us up and understand that it's part of life. Life is not a box of chocolates. Like
although I do love this. I do love this metaphor from the movie. Yes. You never know what you taste. Yeah.
Right? I mean, what did the mother say to the child? What did she say to Forrest Gump? She said, life is like a box of chocolates. You just don't know what you're going to get. So I love that movie. I've watched that movie thousands and thousands of times for all kinds of reasons. And it's all about, really, like you're saying, it's slowing down and asking the questions, being curious, owning whatever it is you need to own, and then letting that dissolve, and then maybe having the opportunity to recharge and reset and reframe what's the next step that you want to take in that minute that you're in. Because isn't that what life is all about? The power, as Eckhart Tolle talks about, the power of now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the power of now is exactly that. It's very, very powerful, because what's happening right now is what has to happen for our soul's growth. And if people are listening and they want to do that soul's growth work, then they are in the right place. And they're probably listening because they're attracted to the fact that that's really what the Rise of the Goddess Collective community is all about. It's all about rising all of our consciousness, awaken minds as a community, and help each other really serve other people to be the change. Because we, as change makers, want to see change, but we need to practice the change and show people that it's doable, that we don't have to compete with each other. There's a lot of people out there that do aromatherapy, and also there's thousands or maybe billions, who knows, of life coaches out there, right? But not everybody wants to work with me versus, like, they'd rather work with you, right? So it's all about really finding your, like, it's almost like finding that little, like, spark that is talking to you, and having you figure out what it is that you need for your soul. And so I want the audience to know how easy it is to work with you. So I'm going to share right now, I'm going to do a screen share of your website. Let's just make sure that I'm in the right screen here for sharing. Gallery, exit the full screen. I'm always pressing these buttons and then not doing it right, but I'm going to get it right because I've been practicing for so long.
Yeah.
See, share, share, share. Where's the share button? There it is. Share the screen. Okay. All right. So, do you see the screen yet? No.
Not yet. No.
Okay. That's interesting. Sparkyourbalance.com. Well, I'm going to share the screen now. Here we go. Okay. Okay. Share. That's so funny. It's not, I got to move this box. Sometimes the when they update things, they're different. So it says share sound. Yeah, I'm sharing the sound. Okay. Why is that? Where's the button? That's so funny. Okay.
I don't really know. I have shared before. Yeah, maybe. I cannot see anything yet.
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to cross that out. Get out of there. And what I'm going to do is actually go back to that button again, desktop, share. You know what? I'm going to exit again And I'm going to share this. You're going to share. You're actually going to share. I'm going to give you permission to share. So for some weird reason, I can't share. So I just gave you permission to share. So bring your sparkyourbalance.com up so people can see it, because this will be going, this podcast is going to be going on YouTube. And they'll be able to watch the video, they'll be able to see your website.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes, I can.
Okay, sounds great.
Yes, I can see it. And let's go right to the Spark Your Balance. I think it's 3 tips you have.
Yeah.
That's a free 3 tips.
I have 3-step self-care routine, which I believe is something very important as a starting point to understand what actually you might be doing as a self-care. It might be much more than you think, and you might already do much more than you think. Because only when you are showing up here to try to understand how to actually heal your spark is one of the self-care, because you are willing to change and really feel your soul with something. So that makes a difference as well. So there is just a very simple 3-step self-care routine that helps you to really feel more energetic, more vital and inspired, more in balance. And there's just a very simple website where you can read through the basics, how you can work with me. I'm just offering the 90-day transformational program and aromatherapy as a consultation if someone needs to really support how to use it. Although within the program with women, I'm sharing these tips anyway, if someone is interested. And that's basically the basics, the basics of it, right? I do have the, let's say, whatever guide to find your ways to find your calm in the chaos, which I shared the link with Michelle as well. So I guess that it will be included somewhere
in the
under
share,
the video.
It will be the shared notes.
Yeah, wonderful.
Absolutely. And it's very, very exciting to have you on today. And I know that you have many other things you need to do today, so I won't keep you. So before we end the podcast, I would love to ask you what you would like to share with the audience in just the fact that, you know, what wisdom would you like to leave for today as a mother, as an entrepreneur? Just share.
There's a lot. I mean, yeah, thank you very much. I believe that some of the insights were shared throughout the conversation. What I really feel inspired to share is never let others lose your spark, because they don't have your understanding, they don't have your beliefs, they don't have your vision. Just really own it, because it is yours and you are living your life 24/7. So really try not to look outside, but rather inside, and really look for what is already working in your life and start from there, because there is already a lot. Even if you are feeling in the chaos right now or in the doubt, you can still find the beautiful and the beauty of every day that you can start from to understand it. You can own it, that you can stand up and stand into your power and just feel that spark for yourself.
I love it. I love it. So the audience always loves to hear me say, your activation is my activation.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're also going to include your spark is my spark. And thank you so much for being here on the Rise of the Goddess Collective. And have a wonderful evening, because I know it's evening where you are. And we'll be talking soon.
Thank you. Wonderful evening to everyone.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.